discussing non-cooperation movement. So there, Mahatma Gandhi started this movement. So what happened in these time, that is from 1922 to 1929. Let's find out what happened here. Mahatma Gandhi, who started this non-cooperation movement, that was suspended by Mahatma Gandhi in the month of February 1922. Mahatma Gandhi suddenly, abruptly in the sense suddenly suspended, called off. That means ended a non-cooperation movement in February 1922. So, what is the reason for calling off the non-cooperation movement? In 1922, a group of peasants at Chauri Chaura. This is a place in Uttar Pradesh. So there in Chauri Chaura, a crowd of peasants, a group of peasants, they set fire to the police station. That means violent activity happened in 1922 in the month of February. Actually, in Chauri Chaura, there the peasants were taking their demonstration very peacefully through the streets. So there policemen fired on these peaceful demonstrators, that provoked the demonstrators to turn from peaceful to violence. Violence is not at all interested by Mahatma Gandhi. Non-cooperation movement of Mahatma Gandhi stands on non-violence. Violence is not the idea of Gandhi. So as the peasants, they got angry because of the firing by policemen, they set fire to the police station. The peasants, they set fire and blasted the police station, which is a violent activity. So in this incident at Chauri Chaura, 22 policemen were killed. So the movement which was going on non-violence, it turned to violence. Gandhiji wanted to move on non-violence. He prefers everything on non-violence, which is his ideology. But here it turned to violence. So Gandhiji called for non-cooperation movement. Called for in the sense suspended due to the violent activity happened at Chauri Chaura. So once this non-cooperation movement was ended in the Congress, the members of the Congress, they went on discussing for further program. So there Mahatma Gandhi followers, they demanded the Congress have to undertake one constructive program in rural area to gain the strength. And some other leaders of the Congress, that is Chittaranjan Das, Motilal Nehru, these two members argued that Congress party should enter in elections. In coming elections, there should be standing in election by Congress party. This is the will opinion of C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru. They argued that Congress party should enter in, it should fight in elections and enter into the provincial council so that it can influence the government policies which were against to the Indian people. This is one idea. And through sincere social work in villages in mid 1920s, Gandhians in the sense the followers who followed Gandhi, they were able to create a support for Indian freedom movement, and that helped for Gandhiji to start another famous movement in 1930s, that what we call civil disobedience movement. So in 1920s, there at a rural level, Gandhians they extended the ideals of Gandhiji to create a base for freedom movement. So the followers of Gandhians they succeeded what to call taking the support from the rural area to launch a civil disobedience movement in 1930. In 1920s, non-cooperation movement started by Gandhiji against Punjab injustice and what to call Rowlatt Act, which given abnormal powers for the British. So against these two things, they started a non-cooperation movement, and that suspended in 1922 because of Chauri Chaura incident. After this, in 1930, one more movement started by Mahatma Gandhi, that is civil disobedience movement. And two important developments were set up in 1920s, in the middle of the 1920s. Okay, two important organizations were set up in 1920s. One is RSS, Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh. Another one is Communist Party of India. So these are the two important developments started in 1920s. Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh. It is a Hindu cultural organization, stands for bringing unity among all Hindus. This is the aim of Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh. It is the right wing. So it is a cultural organization standing to build a Hindu culture in India. Okay, and its leader at present is Raman Bhagavat. Its headquarter is at Nagpur. As per report in 2014, it has 5 to 6 million members. That is Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh. In short, we call RSS. Stands for unity of Hindus, unity among Hindu people. It stands to remove the differences among the Hindu society. That is the aim of RSS. Next is Communist Party of India. This also one political party among 8 national parties. Communist Party of also one national party. It started in 1920s, in 1925. And this organization stands for social equality and universal adult franchise and right to protest through demonstration and strikes. It demands for equality in implementing the land reforms and nationalization of the private ownership of factories. All these are the ideals of CPI. So these are the two important developments started in mid 1920s. One is Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh and another one is the Communist Party of India. Along with these two, here we find one more important thing, that is the revolutionary nationalist Bhagat Singh. Bhagat Singh also very active in this period, who was a legend and a hero of Indian patriotism. He what to call followed the ideals in which he believed for achieving independence. So he is a role model for youth regarding the patriotism and stand. So it is the two developments we see which developed in 1920s after the end of a non-cooperation movement. Another movement started in 1930s by Mahatma Gandhi, that is a civil disobedience movement, which is also called Salt Satyagraha. What is it? Salt Satyagraha. Here, Indian National Congress, it conducted a meeting at Lahore in 1929 under the leadership and presidentship of Jawaharlal Nehru. In 1929, one meeting was held at Lahore, and there the leader was Jawaharlal Nehru. In that Congress session, they declared that to stand for complete freedom, that is Purna Swaraj. In Lahore session of Congress meeting in 1929, Congress passed a resolution that to stand for a Purna Swaraj, complete independence, and that was ultimate goal for achieving freedom from the British colonial rule. Congress passed this resolution to stand for complete freedom, that is Purna Swaraj. So for attainment of Purna Swaraj, there under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi, Congress passed a resolution to start a civil disobedience movement. So in 1930, civil disobedient movement started for achieving complete freedom, that is Purna Swaraj. Whereas the leftist within the Congress took lead this time, giving national goal and program. Congress working in two different ways. So within the Congress, some members stand separate, that is called leftist. So leftist within the Congress, they took the lead and creating the national goal and program of action. There the Congress working committee, among the Congress leaders, some of the leaders were formed to a committee, and that committee decides the working program, that is called Congress working committee. So the Congress working committee decided with enthusiasm, with a lot of interest, that to practice 26th January as a day of Purna Swaraj. 26th January, they wanted to maintain or observe that day as a Purna Swaraj, attainment of Purna Swaraj. On the day, we should become free from the Britishers. That was a declaration passed by the Congress Working Committee. So on March 12th, 1930, Mahatma Gandhi decided to break the British government laws by making a salt. So your government salt law was broken up by Mahatma Gandhi. Look at the figure 11b.2. This is a poster printed during the freedom struggle. Gandhiji at Dandi near what to call this sea there with the Sarojini Naidu. You can observe that the lady Sarojini Naidu moving in front of Darshana salt factory. There is a salt factory. At that time, there was a law by British government that is salt prepared, produced by boiling the sea water in salt factories, and that was not allowed for common people to prepare salt on their own. There was a tax on the salt, so making salt very expensive for the common people at the time. So Gandhiji wanted to break this law to start a civil disobedience movement. What is a civil disobedience movement? It is not obeying the laws of the British, that too peacefully, based on non-violence. Okay, civil disobedience means we decided that to disobey the laws of a British, and that what we call civil disobedience movement. So Gandhiji on 12th March 1930 walked near to the sea. There is a small village Dandi, and there Gandhiji prepared salt. For common people, it is prohibition to make salt. So here Gandhiji violated the British law by manufacturing salt at Dandi. This is a violation and beginning of the what to call civil disobedience movement. On 12th March 1930, at the sea coast in Gujarat, there is a small village Dandi. There, Mahatma Gandhi violated the British law by manufacturing the salt and stand. So how it happened? It is a small village. So that is on 13th March 1930, Gandhiji and his followers, 78 followers, they walked of 375 kilometers from Sabarmati Ashramam to Dandi. Understand? On 12th March they decided, and 13th March they started from Sabarmati Ashramam to reach Dandi, which is a small village near Gujarat sea coast. So after completing their march, what you call walking of 375 kilometers within the 24 days, on 6th April, Gandhiji reached Dandi. That means is March fast. That means walking started on 13th April, so 13th March 1930 from Sabarmati. On 6th April, Gandhiji with his 78 followers reached Dandi instant. So day after day newspapers reported is a progress what Gandhiji is going to do. Understand? Every day in the newspaper about the Gandhiji's activity. Understand? And is a progress in attainment of Purna Swaraj. His speeches throughout his what to call walking from Sabarmati to Dandi, there was a march fast. So moving from Sabarmati to Dandi, every day there Gandhiji given his speeches and attracted people to strengthen the civil disobedience movement. So every day there is a new kind of inspiration, motivation to the people, number of followers increasing, and the program of a civil disobedience movement becoming strong. This was a every day published in the newspapers instead. So hundreds of village officials on his route from Sabarmati to Dandi, all the people and village officials who come in between Sabarmati and Dandi, they joined what you call Gandhiji by resigning their jobs. Many of our Indian leaders they were working in the village as officers, so they resigned their jobs and become the follower of Gandhiji. So there was a mass support for Gandhiji and by his speeches. Finally, they reached on 6th April 1930 at Dandi. There, Gandhiji picked up some salt in his two hand and broken the salt law, which is the symbol of the Indian people's refuse to live under the British what to call made laws instead. As Gandhiji picked up certain what to call a handful of salt, there Gandhiji took up salt into his hand instead. Into his hand, Gandhiji pick up a salt. Look at this figure. You can identify here. Understand? Here is a Gandhiji instead. He picked some handful of salt and stated that we are making our own salt by violating the what British law. Understand? So with the making of a salt by Gandhiji at Dandi on 6th April, there itself declared that we are not interested to continue in the British colonial rule instead. And there, what to call it is clearly stated that Indian people's refusal to the British that we are not interested, we are rejecting the laws made by British and we rejecting the what the British rule instead. This became a wave of inspiration throughout the country. Understand? Throughout the country, we see that salt laws were broken in many parts. Okay, at the length and breadth of the Indian nation, Gandhiji's action of picking up some handful of salt motivated many people. Even women also took part in this civil disobedience movement. Understand? We see that here in Delhi there 1600 people wherever foreign cloth shops are there in front of that Indian people raising the slogan that Purna Swaraj and boycott of the foreign cloth. They collected the foreign cloth and burnt it. What they had did during the Vande Mataram movement that continued here too also. Even in front of the liquor shops also they sat, that is called picketing, and burned the liquor. Understand? And hand meaning cut signal. Sharing it to you, the screen. The foreign cloth shops and liquor shops were picketed and burnt, and hand spinning was taken up as a movement. Hand spinning in the sense what the charka, what Gandhiji stated for all Indians during the Swadeshi movement to produce their own cloth. So hand spinning was taken up as the movement. British schools, colleges were boycotted. British services also boycotted. What were British services? For example, British government giving transport services. People did not get into the buses. Okay, so like that, British schools, British government offices, all these were boycotted under a civil disobedience movement. So civil disobedience movement not only confined to it is not confined to only making the salt, but also extended to other activities like collecting the foreign cloth and burning it. Liquor shops were picketed, schools, colleges, and British services were boycotted. Understand? So the people joined in this civil disobedience movement in a large number. British government also observing it very carefully, and it took a ruthless cruelty, brutal suppression. British government also wanted to take revenge on this. It wanted to suppress the movement. We were conducting, we were taking this movement very peacefully, and this movement British wanted to suspend. So British government replied. That means it encountered the civil disobedient movement participants with ruthless repression, very cruelty, brutal activities they have did. That is lathi charges and firing on all these participants, in which men and women who are unarmed without weapons. Very peacefully the movement was going on, and such innocent, armless, okay, without weapons, the movement was going on them. British government did lathi charge and set firing on the people. Understand how cruel it is, you know. So such a cruel and ruthless repression action taken by British government to suppress this movement. So here 90,000 satyagrahis, including Gandhiji and other Congress, they were sentenced to jail. They were taken to custody. 90,000 satyagrahis and Gandhiji, they were taken to custody. Some Congress leaders also imprisoned in the jail, and 110 persons were killed in civil disobedience movement due to the lathi charge and firings. 300 participants of the civil disobedience movement were wounded. They got injured in police firing. Okay. Restrictions were imposed on press, that is media. Media did not telecast anything what happened in civil disobedience movement. So completely media was controlled. British attempted to divide the Indians by winning over the Muslims. There the Britishers succeeded taking support of the Muslims and Jamindars and other minorities. They wanted to divide Indians into different group people because it is the easy way to suppress the movement. Understand? So the movement was very strong. There was a strong support. So in order to break the movement, the Britishers have succeeded dividing the Indians into Hindus and Muslims. They moved closely with the Muslims, Jamindars, and other minority communities and succeeded what to call suppressing this civil disobedience movement. But the leaders took up constructive program throughout the country, like wearing Qadar. See, this is the beginning of in Indian politics that the MLAs, MPs who wear khadi, that is Qadar dress, right? So here Qadar wearing started in India, understand, regarding the peaceful movement, okay, and removal of untouchability to bring social cohesion in the movement, that is also started. They are what to call completely what to call removing inequalities. In response to the call of Gandhi, a number of women broke parda. In Muslim community there is a parda system, so Muslim women broke up parda system and participated in this civil disobedience movement. Finally it was suspended, finally it was suppressed by the what Britishers by their ruthless repression, lathi charges and firing on them, okay. So the combined struggles of the Indian people bore fruit when Government of India Act 1935 prescribed provincial autonomy. There, British government passed one act, what we call a Government of India Act 1935. So, what is this